Hi guys, my name is Ben,
I'm Nathan.
and welcome back to the Pride of Villa. We're here for our match review of Aston Villa 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1 on the 27th of June, was it? 27th of June, it was on the Saturday. We're going to be going through our overall thoughts to the match, some, little points of news, some stats, player ratings, and then just a little preview into Liverpool on Sunday. So if you are going to enjoy this video, obviously, do the following, leave the like, go subscribe, turn on notifications, check out fatalgrips.com. The link is in the description. Use the discount code PRIDAVILLA, you'll gain 10% off. But without further ado, we're going to hop straight into it. So, what did you make of Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday?
Well, I think me and you can agree the first half was actually really good. I think we both would have thought a point would have been ideal at that point.
Yeah.
But obviously, starting next half, it was just shocking straight away. And I think we just knew we were going to lose it. And we just lost it and no points came out of that game. And just really a lot of crap's come out of it. Like, obviously, Dean could have got sacked. Well, he still could, actually, which I think it's pointless right now. We've only got a few games left.
They've said he's got the 6 games at the end of the season. Now, I don't know if that's meaning that after those 6 games, he's gone, or they're still sticking with him until afterwards.
It wouldn't make sense, though. Like, if we went down, we just let him go. That doesn't make sense to me. If we stay up, then I can kind of agree him going.
It's hard to say, though, because if we go down and they want to bring a new manager in, it's either, if they're sticking with Smith, he has to have a lot longer than what I was suggesting of 6 to 10 games, because that means the new manager doesn't get a chance to implement any of his players. But if we get a new manager in, that means he can work with a lot more time with the team. But obviously, it would be a new manager before giving Smith a real chance. Considering Smith's only really had about 18 months with the team.
Yeah.
I think going back to Saturday, as we said, first off, it was probably the best we've seen of the matches so far. We actually played football for once, the attacking philosophy that Smith has been implementing into this team. We finally saw something of that, and it did look a decent first half. And then the second half, as usual, I think Wolverhampton Wanderers quality just outshone us. Adam Traore clearly had the impact, as we said. And that's just really where it all just changed. It just went from a decent performance to just poor. And then after the game, obviously, there was talk that the board would be discussing the possibility of a sacking of Dean Smith later in the evening. And then it obviously came out that they'd be sticking with him for the next 6 games. Overall, really poor performance in the end. But simply put, I think it was just one of those teams that outshone us in terms of quality than across the 90 minutes on the pitch. So, Nathan, let's head over to your stats and key points.
So, from stats, possession was 48 for us, 51 for them, which, sounds about right.
Not bad.
Corners, we had 2, they have 2, so it's okay. Shots on target was 2-1. So
for us,
that's all I've got, really. Yeah.
Do you have shots? Do you have the shots on? Not as in on target, just like general shots.
No.
Oh, okay.
But I think it was slightly the same. But
yeah.
A point would have been so ideal.
Yeah, I think watching it, there were some chances. Admittedly, a lot of it wasn't capitalised on, but there was 1 or 2 good moments where we could have had something. But as I think what was the key stat was the lack of opportunities that Wolverhampton Wanderers had and how they were able to capitalise on it with the 1 chance. God's sakes. But what else?
Also, we have a new sponsor.
Oh, yes. We have a new sponsor in Kazoo. I thought it was going to be Sport Pacer, but that's decent. It will be on all shirts for the club, including the children's shirts, which is a nice change away from the gambling, I suppose. But let's go on to Let's go on to player ratings. So I have the team. In goal, we have Nyland.
Oh,
I'm gonna give it a 3. I think now's the time to shake it up with Rayner.
yeah.
Because
I
I think
think we should start him for Liverpool.
yeah, it's just gotten worse and worse, and it's just not really improved. Really, that slip out of his hands where he went the other way. That's the nail for me that we need to change. So a 3 for me. On to left back, we have Matt Target. Who gets a 1.
Yeah, 1.
Simply
Crap.
put, you got injured in the first 5 minutes. A reoccurring injury that's happened already multiple times this season. So whilst you could argue it's a sad thing, you need to also take into consideration how many times he's already been injured this season. But, when you're only on for 5 minutes, you have no impact at all. And it was obvious as soon as he pulled up with that hamstring, he was going off. Next up, we move into our centre-half positions. We've got House. I'm going to give him a 5.
Yeah, 5.
Again, I think he's been probably one of the most... out of a poor bunch of defenders that we've signed this season, I think out of everyone, he's come out as probably the best of the worst for somebody that was a 4th signing in, and before James Chester was there, the 4th option that we would have made. But I think he's come back, look really solid, and I think either way, he's going to be staying with us next season. He's going to look a much, much better player. So 5 from me. Mings, 3.
2.
I think
I'd say 2.
I think that's one of the problems now. Everyone can jump ship at Konza playing in the wrong position, or simply put, defensively, we're just not good enough. I think probably the biggest problem right there is Mings. I think he has been poor, and although he's had the England national call-up, when you watch him for Villa, he's just not performed like he did last season. He's just been so disappointing. I think you talk about someone trying to be a leader. I don't see Mings in that. I admit Grealish isn't as much of a leader as well, but I think compared to the two of them, I think Grealish has a little bit more to him. But I think Mings needs to come off for Engels now, or even move Konza over so we play Konza and House together. But I think Mings needs to break from the pitch, and overall just needs to improve in case he gets shipped off in the summer. What are you going to?
Will I give Mings?
Yeah.
2.
No.
Absolute crap. I'm sorry, but he seems a bit in denial. Like from that news that we got, like I think it was today, him basically saying, "Don't give up. We might actually get." We basically just said we might get some points from Liverpool. It's just not going to happen. Liverpool obviously going to want those 100 points, and if we were in Liverpool's position, I think we wanted to. I don't think we would give them like our youngsters. We'll just keep going.
Yeah. Move on to right back position, Ezri Konza. I'm going to give him a 4. He didn't do too bad, but overall, it's another problem for me. You have Gilbert in, who you bought specifically for this role to replace Alan Hutton. Yeah. You've still got El Mohammadi, who may not be as good, but he's still naturally fitted to that role. But you're playing Ezri Konza, who may have some experience in that position already, but for me, he's more better suited as a centre half. It doesn't make sense. He's been in that position now for the past 5 games. Gilbert overall this season, I don't think you can judge him as much because I don't think he's given enough opportunity, considering he's either put behind
don't know where he is.
El Mohammadi, or as we said, Ezri Konza, or they just play through at the back and don't give him a chance. But I'd like to see a change now. Maybe Gilbert, maybe El Mohammadi. But I think Konza was fine, didn't do too much problems, but the time is up for me in that position, so I'm going to give him a 4.
I'd probably, because I didn't really notice him in that game, probably a 4 too.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what makes it so low, because he was so quiet. You can't really say what he did. We'll move on to the midfield, because we played a 4-4-2. 1-2-1-2. Interesting. In the more defensive holding role, we had Louise there. Um,
6,
I'm trying
maybe
to,
7.
I'd say 6. I think for me, it was not as good as the other games, but that was only by like
Yeah,
a fraction. I think he's still been really good. The only problem I have is for where he was playing on the pitch, I think it was a little bit too deep. And I would have liked to see him more alongside Hurahan because Nakamba's actually playing in front of him, which doesn't make sense. You'd rather be playing Nakamba there considering he's more defensively minded than
yeah.
Luis. But as I said, I think man of the match for me, another solid performance, another really good showing from him. And he's coming good right now. We then move on to Nakamba. I'd say a
Uh,
4.
yeah, quiet.
Too
I'd say
quiet,
anyway.
too quiet for me. Wrong position. Louis should be playing there. Obviously, we didn't have him again on the pitch, but that was due to match fitness. But in that case, then why not give it to Lansbury? What does Lansbury have to do to get a position on that team?
He
Because
hasn't been on the subs at all.
well, yeah. So what's he doing? Is he just not match fit or injured or something? Is he just not to Smith's liking? But surely you just give him a chance because
Yeah.
there was a good player there, but he's just never given the time of day. But for me, Nick Hammer gets a 4, too quiet and in the wrong position. Move over to the right, we've got Conor Hurahan. 3. I think that's
Yeah,
yet again too quiet.
crap again.
The quality is just not there with Hurahan in the Premier League. But I think he's so much better suited championship wise. Maybe give him a few more years, and he may come through good. But again, too quiet. Just really didn't have much of an impact on the game as we would have liked. Next up, we have Grealish in the more attacking midfield role, and I'm going to give him a 2. I think there's photos of him looking despair as the Wolverhampton players celebrate the goal. There's
Yeah.
rumours that he's been looking at houses near Manchester, according
But he can
to.
go, like, I don't really care anymore, like.
That's not the point though. Something that I've said that I was talking to my dad with was the lack of legends we don't see anymore at this club because it's been a very long time since we see big names. Well, not big names, but players that are go down in the books as one of the better ones, and someone you can say that's a Villa legend. And the sad thing is, we can't even say that about Grealish because he's only really come good in the past 2-3 years. He may have been around since 2013, 2015, but he's only come good since the end of the first to second season of the championship. But I think in that game, he was so poor. There's no direction from him, no idea of what he wants to achieve in that game or what he wants to help the team persevere through. Set pieces is poor. He's passing. He needs to be sure. He's holding that ball way too long and it's infuriating. He's missing the perfect chances. And he's just not having any impact in this team really anymore. It's a shame because I'd love him to stay, obviously. But I think it's one of those that he's just going to have to be one to accept.
He's going to go. He is going to go.
He's going to go, and the sad thing is we can't say he's a Villa legend because he hasn't really done anything.
No.
And that's something I'd love to be able to say that in my time I've seen this player, I've seen that player. We can't because, none of them are at that quality. The last time I've probably seen someone of icon stats was in the Martin O'Neill era. You got Stilian Petrov, a Bonglahor who's still going about, may not be as good, but he's still someone who can say they were there for the rest of their career. Gareth Barry, Ashley Young, if he had been given a bit more years at Villa. But for me, Grealish gets a 2. And I don't really know where it's going to go with him. Next up, we have the 2 up front. We've got the one on the left, Keenan Davis. I'm going to give him a 4, 3.
Do you know what? I'm going to give him a 5 because I thought he did give a little bit of creativity.
I don't think
but it wasn't enough.
I think 2 up front is the correct solution. I just
Yeah,
don't think that pairing. I think you've got somebody in Davis who holds up the ball and will bully people off, trying to establish some domination on the ball and in his area. And then you've got someone like Samatta, who's more of a goal hanger, someone who's going to nick a goal when you least expect it. And I think that pairing just doesn't work. And for some reason, I think even though Wesley kind of plays the same role as Davis, I think Wesley will be able to establish himself more there rather than Davis. But I think Davis has been fine for what we've had. Um, it depends what they're going to do next season, as said. Maybe considering a better striker if we're going
yeah,
to, and then give Davis the loan time out to a championship team so he can properly gain some confidence in goal scoring. But for me, he's going to get a 3. And then the final starting player, Ali Samatta, I'm going to give him a 5. A lot of people, again, were saying that his impact on this team hasn't been the greatest since his signing, but I think there actually is. I think you got to compare yourself to what we were using. We were using Wesley, who wasn't bagging any goals, but was more of a team player rather than a goal poacher himself. You've got Davis, as we've said, who's someone who likes to be physical and be a brute. And then you've got Barcelona, who did nothing. So then you've
yeah,
got Ali Samatta, who's actually the striker that you want, that will persevere for the whole team, that will end up at the goal, score the goal, and yet help the team out defensively. I think that's someone like Tammy Abraham was doing last season, and that's the striker that we need. Again, he may not have had the impact, but you've got to remember, as we said, we've been playing a formation that leaves the striker so isolated, and then the players around him have just not been performing, so he can't really feed off anything. But I think the finishing is there. I think the potential is there. He's only been here for about 6 months. And
yeah.
it's simply one of those you just have to give time to. You can't judge him right now. So I'm going to give him a 5. I think he was decent. But as I say, it's just someone that's going to take time. So I can't judge him now. What would you give?
Yeah, I'll give him a 5 too. It's just if everyone not behind him is not really playing good, he don't play good, and that's why he's not getting the credit he deserves. Like I like Samatta. Like I know he's capable of getting us loads of goals, but it's just our whole team is just such a mess right now. Everyone's not in the position they should be. Everyone's not giving their full, and everyone's just like not really caring much. But
Yeah.
I do feel sorry for Samatta.
Yeah. We'll move on to subs then, really quick. We've got, we'll just run through them all. Neil Taylor from back target, John McGinn for Conor Horan, El Mohammadi for Konza, Trezeguet for Nakamba, and El Ghazi for Davis. So Taylor, I'd give him a 5. I actually
Yeah, he
thought,
actually wasn't bad.
I
Was not
think
bad at all.
defensively he's much better than Target, but Target offers us more
Yeah,
going forward. So I think, well, definitely Taylor should be starting ahead now. He actually, out of everyone, looked like somebody who could keep up with Adama Traore, funny enough. We then move on to John McGinn for Conor Horan, and he gets a 3.
he didn't do much.
Simply put, it's just not working again. Admittedly, he's been away for such a long time, so you can't really blame him. But as I've said, for somebody that I thought would be Villa's most crucial player for the rest of this season, he's not performing. He's just too quiet. But hopefully, I'd say come good. I don't know what we're going to see of him, but ultimately, I'd like him to stay in the window. Because I think he can also be a Villa legend, but he needs so much more time
Yeah,
than the 2 years that he's had. So hopefully he can come good. El Mohammadi for Konza, I'm going to say a 4. He didn't really have much impact, but as a more solidified right back than Konza, I think he did really well in that role. And then he did the classic go back to a 4-3-3, as you knew he would. Trezeguet and El Ghazi both coming on. Both get a 3. No impact, really quiet, surprisingly. As soon as he both came on, I screamed to you saying he's actually gone back to a 4-3-3. He loves it. He can't stop playing it. And
I
simply
was
put,
shocked though.
grow up. But they were both quiet, both really poor, and just had no impact. So a 3 from them. So that's really been player ratings. Is there anything else you want to say on the match, Nathan?
Well, like, we just got to take the positives still. Obviously, a lot of bad stuff came out of it. Like, we're literally just minutes away from losing D. The only positives I can take from it is the first half. If we keep doing stuff like that, being as good like that, we will be getting goals, but obviously there's more negatives now. We're not getting goals at all. None of the players are really asked. Grealish, obviously, looking for a house in Manchester,
Yeah.
allegedly, but it just is, isn't it? Like, over the other teams, I think he would be suited at Manchester United. But, but I'm going to say this, though. If we do go down, we are going to lose, like, all these players. Out of all of them, I'd say McGinn's most likely to stay. I know it's weird to say, but as you said, give him a few more years, it would be a legend. But with Mings, though, I do think Mings is on the way out too.
Yeah.
I know he can offer you a lot, but I don't know. With Mings, he's really good when the team's really good.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves a team where everyone's putting in 110%. So
I think attitude-wise with Mings, I don't see it. I think there is a
no,
little bit of a selfish belief around him,
he
which is a
doesn't like
bit,
to
which is a bit
take
of
ownership. Yeah, he doesn't like to take ownership when he does it wrong. Yeah.
I kind of see that in Mings. I just don't. You talk about people like to see Mings as captain. I don't, because I just don't think he actually is as much of a leader as Grealish. But yet,
he was a captain once, though, for one game, I believe. I don't know
yeah,
what game it was.
probably
When
just
Grealish
as a
was gone.
sub. Yeah. We'll move on to Liverpool then on Sunday. Obviously, crowned Premier League champions after Chelsea beat Man City 2-1 to help Liverpool claim their first title in 30 years. Congrats to them.
Yeah.
Overall, just
Deserve it.
there's two sides of the team. What can you say about Liverpool? Ever since Jurgen Klopp's come in, it's just been a matter of time when it was going to happen. Won Champions League last season, UEFA Super Cup winners. They've just done it all, really. They've won the Premier League finally and are now established as probably the best side in the world. And then obviously they're coming to, we're going to Anfield to only get battered by them.
Yeah.
As I said, I think we can agree. We don't expect much from this. Ideally, goal difference, we need this to be as low as possible. So we still stand a chance. But really just don't expect much from this game. But let's just hope that we can at least not concede as many goals, so we still have a chance in. When we go at the table, the goal difference is still a little bit lower. Going to end this review off on simply put, just problems. Yet again with Villa, probably going to say this every video now, and try and get some more opinions from you fans. Obviously, the news did come out that Smith could have been sacked that later evening, but it's now come to understand that Smith will be sticking around for the next 6 games. Now, we don't know if this means after these 6 games, that's it for Smith and the managing crew, or they are still going to be sticking with him after whatever happens this season. For me, number one thing that is wrong is management. Defensively, we're the worst team in the Premier League for our goals conceded. And you need to look at who the hell's managing that section of the pitch, and it is John Terry. Obviously, we've seen what Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard can do. They're becoming really good managers. So maybe somehow JT might need to follow in that direction and manage a team. But I think next season he's probably going to go to Chelsea, seeing how well Frank Lampard's doing. I wouldn't be surprised with that. Number 2, formation and tactics of Dean Smith. For somebody that came in expressing them to play attacking football, we've seen pretty much little of it this season. It's just gone backwards on that statement. The formation is always wrong. And simply put, as I think it's now coming to be understood, it needs to be a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, because 4-3-3 doesn't work. He just ends up reverting back to it no matter what. And it's not working. Our centre halves would be much better, closely compact, more able to link up together. The wingers are rubbish. And then playing the two fullbacks wider up the pitch gives us more creativity in the wider sections of the pitch and helps stop teams from breaking through so easily. But I think he needs to leave, John Terry. I don't see what he offers really. Richard O'Kelly, I believe, is the assistant manager to Aston Villa, but I think the same thing goes around as what does he actually provide for this team. And then you've also got Dean Smith's tactics. And as I said, it's just... It's the lack of experience that's really done the problem this season. It's been said multiple times. He's had multiple chances to change that. There's been multiple times he should have gone. And I think, simply put, that when the options do come about for the next manager, do we go Bielsa? Do we go Rafa Benitez? Do we go Sean Dyche?
I don't know which one.
What do we do? I think for me, Sean Dyche needs to be the next manager.
He's probably one of the managers I hire up. That we'll be considering, but I think we should only be looking at managers if we do stay up. Like, if we go down, I do believe in Dean to get us back up again. Like, I don't think anyone else could have done it as better as he did, but I think Sean Dyche, it does have the same concept on the game as we do. Like he likes to have. What did you say again? Like, he likes to get a squad on a low budget or something.
Yeah, he likes to work with he's working with a team that's on a low wage budget.
So I like that.
So I think that's what we need to do. And a third problem for me is Suso and the players.
Yeah.
We've already seen what has been of the player recruitment. Apparently, Suso's had more impact on the team rather than Smith himself. So I think that really needs to... He really says so much how lack of trust they have in Dean's faith of choosing the right players. And I think we could have seen probably a better team this season had Smith had the player choice. But I think Suso needs to go, definitely. In terms of players, we already know they're not all of them are good quality players. So for me, in terms of what happens next in the transfer window, it really depends. But on the ideal situation that we do stay up, I'd say I can't say a new goalkeeper because I think Jed Steer needs to be in contention.
You're right, Heaton would probably be first choice.
Well, yeah, we'll have Heaton first choice, Jed Steer second, Nyland third, and then whatever they do fourth.
Yeah.
I think left back probably do with someone else because I think Matt Target's just too injury prone. Centre halves, I think we need I think I don't want to say out of every area because I believe the wingers is the main priority. I think we need someone star-studded in that centre half role. Now, I don't know who it could be, but it needs to be big, solid, and essentially good, so that it makes the other four that we have signed at least not terrible, but someone they know can play alongside. I think right back we're fine. I do believe in Gilbert. I do believe Elmo can still offer us. And I do think if it needs to be, we can just play house there. Centre, in the midfield, I'd say Hurahan and Lansbury need to go. Because I just don't think that nothing's going to come of them. So in that case, then we need to bring in two better centre halves. I think, although Nakamba's been fine, he's the only really defensive player in that midfield. So maybe another consideration for that. Wingers for me is the biggest problem, though. I can't say sell all the wingers because he just won't do that. If it was me, leave. Who should you leave? You know what? Leave Jota because I think he hasn't been given as much of a chance. I like El Ghazi, I really do, but really, it's just not there. The Ronaldo potential.
It's not working.
Yeah, Trezeguet's just rubbish.
I
So I
do
think,
think he'll go.
yeah, he'll go. So I think Ben Rama needs to be the
Yeah.
number one. Rashina from Werder Brenner, I think it is the German winger. I think he looks really good. Someone else a little bit more solid there, maybe perhaps from the lower, higher echelon of the championship. Or maybe Knockout even, or just whoever. Striker wise, I think we're fine. We're definitely fine. You know,
Well, you could
send,
argue that we might need another one.
but yeah, but even then,
Um,
you send Davis out on loan. We've still got Wesley and Samata. We've still got Vasilev who can play in that role,
yeah.
and even then, they've got Louis Barry who they can turn to if needs be.
I'm just saying, like the ones we have, the only one who really sticks out for me is Samata, and then it was Go Davis, and then
Yeah,
Wesley.
but
I don't think Wesley really does anything.
I think for me, in terms of three players that need to come in positions, number one on the wings,
Yeah,
number two, a big, strongly established centre half, and I think number
yeah.
three, maybe someone a little bit more creative in the midfield. That's going to wrap it up for this review of Aston Villa vs Wolverhampton Wanderers. If you have enjoyed this video, obviously, please give a like. Tell us in the comments and on our social pages if you agree with our thoughts and opinions today, and we'll have a bit of a discussion there if you like.
Get that video to 10
If any
likes.
video gets to 10 likes, we will do the best video that we possibly can discussing what has gone wrong
This
with Aston
video
Villa
going to be
this season.
cinematic and everything.
We will take as long as it needs to be to get it perfect, but we will do it if you get it to 10 likes. As we said, check out fatalgroups.com, check out the social pages. But without further ado, I've been Ben, he's been Nathan. Up the Villa with the pride of Villa. We'll see you later, boys.